because at the end of the day, everyone is inspired by someone else. Every picture has been taken before you. So don't worry about copying someone. Just take it as inspiration. You could be doing so much more. You have so much potential. Like I see it. So I always tell everyone, don't worry about the gear you have. As long as you have the vision, practice on it, practice your craft, and be open to everything. Take all kinds, in the beginning, take everything. Take family portraits, take weddings, take maternity shoots, just regular portraits, product shots, anything you can. Because at the end of the day, you're not chasing a bag. You're chasing that network. Because you're going to need that person down the line eventually. So don't worry about the money. The money's going to come. It's just the network and the friends. That's your main goal in the beginning.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Embrace the Journey. My name is Brandon, and welcome back to the podcast. Great to have you here, and if you're new here, consider subscribing, giving the video a big old thumbs up. It really helps out the channel a lot. Anyways, as you know, every Thursday we dive into a new journey, so let's get into it. Let me introduce my guest. My guest today is a photographer based out of LA who takes amazing portrait photos and continues to push the limits of creativity. He inspires the people that are around him and promotes positivity. That's always a plus. He may take great pictures, but his captions on Instagram tell the story. Anyways, welcome my guest, Robert, aka Sab Shot It.
Hey, how's it going, man? Thank you for having me. I've always wanted to do a podcast like this, so I'm excited, man. Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. First of all, thank you so much for being on the podcast and coming. We're going to dive into so many other things. Question for you. 2020 was a crazy year for a lot of people, but as I kind of looked over your Instagram and everything, it seemed to be a great year for you. A lot of collaborations, a lot of different things going on. Tell me about it. Tell me about that year.
So, let's see. 2020, everyone that I've explained this to, in a way, looked at me confused because I've said, for me, 2020 has been the best year. It was a blessing in disguise, man. So I worked till after the pandemic happened. I think I got let go 2 months afterwards because I was an essential worker. And I told myself, either I can sit here and freeload off the government and get free money, or I could do something with it and be productive with my hobby, which is photography. So 2020, I decided, you know what, let's do as many collabs as I can. Let's find clientele. Let's just bring extra income on top of the unemployment money. So for me, it was like, I'm going to try and get 10 shoots a week. I got all this free time. Let me be as productive as possible. And yeah, I collabed with over 50 people in a short period of time. And then my high demand just kind of grows. And I just kept working to the point where I wasn't sleeping.
Wow.
But it was amazing because at the end of the day, it was still a hobby, bringing in a good amount of income on top of the free unemployment money. But I didn't want to sit around. I seen a lot of my friends, a lot of close friends, acquaintances. They were partying. They thought it was a vacation. And I always told myself, I don't want to be living check by check. So let's just work. And so to me, 2020 overall was the best year.
Yeah.
At least photography-wise. For self-growth. For me, self-growth was definitely 2020.
Yeah.
And I would definitely do it all over again. So in a way, thanks, COVID.
So yeah, no, that's great. I feel like 2020 was definitely that pushing point of whether it was going to knock you out of the game or if it was going to allow you to really find yourself and really push that much forward. Here, a little fun fact for you and then for anyone listening is I started this podcast last year. I started it in March or April, so right around the time the stuff started happening. I've always wanted to start one, and I was like, you know what? This is the time to start it because I mean, even if I was working like how I do, because I'm a server at Cheesecake, and I'm there 6 days a week. So it's like if I was doing that and trying to do this, I probably wouldn't be able to do it as much. So it's definitely been a blessing, and for those who were able to take advantage of it, like yourself. Yeah. So that's awesome. Let's kind of step back a little. Take me back. Where did you grow up?
So I'm actually born in Mexico, raised in California, and I'm from San Pedro. It's a little town. Well, it's not even a little town. It's a good amount size, but it's well known. A lot of movies get recorded out there, but I grew up in San Pedro. I moved there when I was about 2 years old, and I've been there. I'm 29 now. I've been there 27 years, 26, 27 years.
Wow.
In the same streets. So
yeah,
I love San Pedro. I think it's hard to leave home. That's home for me.
Yeah. But, you know what's funny too is when I was looking at your feed on Instagram, there was a lot of different stuff you post, and you again, your pictures are great, and then also you have a lot of architectural pictures and stuff like that. And there was literally 3 or 4 pictures where I'm like, oh, he must have been in Korea, or he must have been here because of what the location was and then how it looked. And then I clicked on it, and it's like Long Beach, and it's like that area, and I'm like, have I not known this part of the world existed or this part of the city?
See, and that's the crazy thing. When it comes to the photography community or photography world, everyone goes to the iconic locations. And that bothers me. Because don't get me wrong, I do it as well because a lot of times that's what the client's asking for. They want a specific location. So, yeah, we're definitely going to go and hit that. But to me, I've never been big about locations. It's all about the angle. There's been countless times where I do photo shoots in front of my house. It's just around the corner, in front, and right across the street of my house, and my front porch. It's all on the angles, man. If you have the eye and you have a great angle, you can make anything work. You got to work with what you got, basically what you're saying. A lot of us aren't privileged enough to travel around the world. So make whatever you have, just make it work.
Yeah. I did also see you went to New York.
Yeah. So that's actually a crazy story. One of my good friends, shout out to Yoshi, Instagram, Yoshi. Yeah, his birthday was coming up, and he wanted to do a photo shoot out in New York. So this has been a huge accomplishment for myself because I've always wanted to get booked somewhere outside of California and do a photo shoot. So he booked me. He flew me out there, paid all the expenses, and we shot literally for almost 18 hours. I was in New York for about 36 hours. I went there for a day. As soon as I landed, we checked into the hotel, did a whole photo shoot for the whole day, slept maybe about 3-4 hours, did another mini photo shoot, and then I went back to the airport and I came back.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like, that to me is a huge blessing and a huge accomplishment in my photography hobby/career.
Yeah, no, huge opportunity, first of all, to be able to do that. I got to ask, I'm sure you did. It's like one of the biggest pieces there. Did you shoot it at Grand Park?
At Grand Park? You know what? This one time, I did not shoot there. About 2 years ago that I was out there, I was out there for a couple of days. I actually did shoot. I was a tourist. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hit these iconic locations because I want them on my Instagram, and I just want to see New York. I've been a big fan of New York. I just never had an opportunity to go out there till 2 years ago. And now it's the second time I went this last year. So
yeah,
definitely a blessing.
Yeah, no, New York is definitely a place I want to go to, like, eventually. I've been to Hawaii, I've been to other places, but New York, like, I mean, Frank Sinatra, New York.
New York.
Exactly. Now, because with photographers, they seem to know a lot of, again, exactly what you said, a lot of the iconic places and all that. How do you go about finding that? Do you just kind of just roam the streets, or what's your kind of process on that?
When it comes to finding iconic locations, I think I hate to say it, but you get sucked in other people's, not creativity, but you see their page and you see a certain location and you're just like, well, I seen so-and-so shoot here, but also saw so-and-so, and so go on. So it becomes into an iconic location where everybody wants to shoot and clients want it, or you see it on TV, and that's what makes an iconic location. So when you see everyone shooting at a certain spot, to me, it's burnt out already. I still do it for clients, but I think that's what makes an iconic location. Like one of the biggest ones is Lower Ground in downtown LA. I cannot stress how many times I've shot there.
Is that with the opening in the center?
Yeah, opening in the center, like underneath the free. No, it's not even. It's just a street. It's underneath the Walt Disney Concert Hall. Yeah, and I think there was a point where I shot 6 times there in 1 week. So it was just, I got burnt out. Yeah. But that's one of the iconic locations in downtown LA. So I think that's what makes an iconic location, is just seeing it so often by everyone. But yeah.
And I did see as well, you like climbing buildings. I mean, they come out to beautiful shots, don't get me wrong. Definitely. Like some of them I was like, wow, like the exposure, everything was very vibrant. Yeah. But how do you go about that?
To be honest with you, that's my comfort zone.
Really?
Like, I think to me, that's feeling free, not worrying about anything else that's going on around in your life. But those shots from up above are shots that majority of the people that lived in LA their whole life are never going to get to see, at least from that point of view. So to me, to be up there and seeing it at eyesight, the top of a roof with the rest of the buildings, that's beautiful to me. Like, that's just, in a way, it's, yo, this is LA. I'm trying to take over LA. Like, this is where I want to be. And I've always said it's not about being at the top. It's staying consistent. Yep. So to me, to hit rooftop to rooftop to rooftop, which I don't support, don't tell you guys to do it because it's dangerous. Yeah. But it's just a metaphor, as in, I want to stay consistent. I want to stay on top as long as possible. So yeah, I don't know. It's just my comfort zone. Like, I love being up there. It's a different view, different feeling, and I definitely feel like everyone needs to experience it at least once. Yeah. But if you're scared of heights or you have anxiety, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for
I
sure.
don't- Yeah,
I
no.
mean, you're sitting on the edge for.
You see me running. And my family hates it, but
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I've definitely cut down a lot. I'm trying to stay away from it, but I just keep coming back, man.
Yeah. Have you done any helicopter shots?
No, that's actually on my bucket list.
Okay.
I've looked into it last year, and then COVID happened, so we couldn't do it. So now that this year they've been a little bit more lenient, I want to say that's top 5 on my bucket list for sure. I need a helicopter ride.
I think you would enjoy it for sure.
Like a little sneaker shot hanging out.
Yeah.
I need that. I need it.
And then just blow it up, and there you go. That's just right front and center.
I'll put it on my mom's living room.
Yeah.
Get the family picture out and put that on there.
Exactly.
Just kidding, mom.
So, kind of going back a little still, what were you into growing up? Has it always been photography, or?
Actually, no. I stumbled upon it just randomly. So what happened was, I've always been into the sneaker world.
Yeah.
I love sneakers. I got that from my uncle. Like, I saw him growing up having the newest Jordan 1s, and I just fell in love right away. So I got into sneakers, and I had a couple local brands hit me up that they wanted to give me free gear, or they wanted to book me to model. And at first, I didn't care for modeling. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I ain't all that.
Yeah.
But I was getting paid to wear my shoes and their gear just for free exposure for them on my Instagram, which I didn't have many followers. That's when Instagram was growing. And then I remembered I had one of my friends who did photography. One of my buddies, Carlos, he goes as Shutter now, and he introduced me to, I like to call him my sensei. He goes as, his name's Juan. His tag is District Vision on Instagram, and he had an extra camera, and he's like, yo, dude, it looks like you have a good angle. Why don't you give this a try? If you give it a try, I'll sell you the camera. If not, just give me the camera back. And yeah, before I knew it, I went from like doing like little small gig modeling gigs to shooting people or shooting things. I always wanted to do sneaker photography. That was something that I was really passionate about. And I started doing photography. I started hanging out with Shutter, District, and then District was just really took me under his wing, which I'm completely grateful for, because not only did I went to school for graphic design, so that's how I knew how to edit already somewhat. But District helped me take it to a next level. And then shooting, and then going into downtown LA, seeing buildings, because I was into shooting landscapes for a while. And yeah, District took over, and he just guided me into the right direction until I felt comfortable enough to start doing portraits by myself, is when I started doing portraits. But that's how I fell in love with photography. Like, I just didn't want to model anymore. I didn't want to do sneaker stuff. I just wanted to shoot pictures. I wanted the world to see my world in my eyes now. And yeah, that's how I fell into photography. Like, it was just completely random. Never in a million years did I think I was going to be a photographer, but I'm 100% grateful. It's definitely been a blessing, and I don't see myself doing anything else other than photography. Like, that's the goal, to be a freelance photographer, just do that as a job.
Yeah.
But for now, it's been cool, I like it.
no, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I go in and out of photography. Like, when I first started, I really taught myself what shutter speed was, what aperture was, ISO, the basics, how you make them work together and stuff like that. And I shot like landscape and all that. And just because the only reason is I would have shot portrait, I was just scared of portrait. And the reason being is because you need to know how to pose them. You need to know how to angle it, what to write, the shot, like all of that stuff. So I avoided it forever. And just recently, I'm like, you know what? Instead of being afraid of it, how about I just go head on? Literally become a student, learn how to do the angles and shoots. So every now and then I'll take a friend and we'll go and do a couple shoots, and it's fun.
See, and that's exactly how I started, because when I did the next step from landscape to portrait, I was frightened. I was scared. I didn't know how to pose a model. And so your best friend is Pinterest. As a photographer, Pinterest is your best friend.
Yeah.
You just search and you start doing your little board, your pin boards, and you start getting ideas on how you want to do it. When you first start doing photography, you start mimicking that. Because at the end of the day, everyone is inspired by someone else. Every picture has been taken before you. So don't worry about copying someone. Just take it as inspiration. So that's always been the biggest challenge for me, is how to pose a model. So fast forward a couple of years, I've gotten so comfortable where it's, hey, dude, I just move like this. I need you to drop your shoulder. I just start guiding them, directing them, and the pictures come out great. Like, I've only gotten positive reviews so far right now, so I must be doing something good. But I mean, overall, that's been the biggest challenge, is how to pose someone, or how to reach someone out to do a photo shoot with you, to collab with you at the beginning, because everything has to be work for work. You help me, I help you in the beginning. So
yeah,
those are
that's
the first steps.
Best way to kind of get out there.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
how did you get your first camera, and what was your first camera?
So my first camera, going back to the district taking me under his wing, he had an extra camera.
Oh, okay.
So he lent it to me for about a couple weeks and said, hey, give it a try. If you like it, then I'll sell it to you. So again, I fell in love. I ended up buying it off him. And I actually started with a 60D Canon, which is not bad for a beginning camera.
Yeah.
But I used that camera for 4 years, I think. I recently got this Sony A7 III about a year and a half ago, back in July, like in 2019. This is fairly new.
Yeah.
But I've shot with my Canon 60D for the longest. I studied my camera. I learned my settings. I learned my white balance, everything to make my pictures look as crisp as possible. And even my editing style, like I did a lot of studying, a lot of District helping me out. A couple other photographers. I have like Shutter, Visuals, District Vision. Yeah, so many people that actually try to help me out on my editing side. I was grateful for it. But yeah, it was 60D Canon.
What lens you rocking there? Is that a 85?
Yeah, this is an 85 1.8, but
I have that same one.
This is my baby. Like,
so good.
I love this, man. This is my go-to.
The only thing that I'm kind of jealous about is you have an A7, right? So that's a full frame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a A6400, so that's a crop,
see,
and it's like
the way I see it, I've met so many photographers who have the latest camera, the latest lenses, the $2,000-$3,000 lenses, and I see their work, and it's just like
comes down to the vision.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you have the best setup. Like, you could be doing so much more. You have so much potential. Like, I see it. So I always tell everyone, don't worry about the gear you have. As long as you have the vision, practice on it, practice your craft, and you'll be good. Like I said, I rocked the 60D Canon for years. Yeah. And everybody thought I was shooting Sony or I was shooting something better. I was like, nah, dude, I'm just shooting Sony on a 50 millimeter lens, a 1.8. Like, it's just nothing. But I love that camera. That camera just brings back memories, man.
Yeah, I started on Canon too. I was obsessed with Canon. Only reason I got into Sony was because I was going to do videography. And I was like, okay, it's perfect for darkness. Everything still takes amazing photos. I'm like, this is going to be the perfect balance. I did help a buddy do a couple wedding videography shoots, but after I started doing it more, I started taking my attention away from the podcast. I'm like, no, I truly want to do the podcast. So I dropped that. I still do photography, just not really videography.
Oh, I got you.
But no, yeah, that's interesting. Now I gotta ask. So your name is Robert, but your handle is Sab Shot It. How'd you come up with that name?
Let's see, best way to put it. So my government name is Roberto. Okay. In school, my teachers, friends, students had trouble enunciating that, so I used to go by as Berto. So for sure they would drop the R-O. So growing up, I was playing soccer. I picked up the nickname Sick Ass Berto. Okay. So that's actually my personal Instagram. It's Sick Ass Berto. So when I did the transition to photography, it took me about like a week and a half to figure out a photography name. I couldn't figure it out. Finally, I was like, you know what? I'm just making this into an acronym. I'm going to do Sick Ass Berto into an acronym. I did SAB. So I put Sick Ass Berto Shot It. So, hey, SAB shot it. Yeah. Now it's like, SAB this, SAB that. Yo, SAB did this. Hey, let's hit up SAB. And it's like, not even my photography friends. It's everyone, like my close friends, my even at work they call me Sab, and it's just my soccer jerseys have Sab in the back, so it's just I feel like it's my name now. Yeah, like I'm owning up to it, and you know what, I like the story behind it, so I was like, you know what, this is actually kind of cool. I like Sab, but it was just a trial name. Yeah, but I ended up sticking with it. I'm glad I did. For real. I'm glad I did.
I know I was asking you this a little bit off camera, but really tell me if I hit on something. So I had said that you have amazing pictures to start off with, but your captions is where the stories are. And I said it's very poetic, some of them. Now, some of them are song lyrics, which I came to realize as I was like doing research. I gotta ask, what the feeling I get from them is a lot of motivational stuff, which I love. On top of that, a lot of very heartfelt and deep stuff. How much is that for show? How much is that truly from a place of experience?
I want to say 75% is definitely me, the way I'm feeling at the moment. Gotcha. 25%, I would say it's show. The way I explain it, depends who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to really close friends, I can definitely open up to you. But if I just met you and you ask me about my captions, I'll tell you it's just a marketing scheme. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's when people feel something, I don't want to use the word authentic, but something that they've experienced as well, they click with you. Yeah. And they start talking to you and they start asking you. And then that's just the best way to make a good Instagram friend. Somebody who really supports you is how do they click with you and how original, not original, but how genuine you're coming out on your captions or pictures.
Yeah.
So that's how I explain it to people I just met.
Yeah.
So for the people that know me personally, they know that my life has been nothing but lessons on lessons on lessons, but also blessings.
Yeah.
Just like everyone else, everybody's gone through a hard time, whether it's either losing someone close to your family, closing friends, a heartbreak, or just stressing over life overall.
Yeah.
So that's where my captions come from. It's motivational to pick myself back up. Either I'm feeling really down at that moment, so I'll use a moody caption, but it's something we've all experienced.
Yeah.
So yeah, those captions are definitely something I'm in the mood or I'm feeling. But I also a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of these pictures I'm big into music. I'm a big hip hop head.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll give you the perfect example. Kendrick Lamar. Would you trust a flower that blooms in the dark?
Mm-hmm.
I heard that and it was just like, yo, that's pretty clever. How can I make that into a picture?
Yeah.
So I actually have a picture of me in the dark with just a light shining down on me, and that's how I came up with it. So a lot of my pictures are actually from song lyrics and how can I make it into a picture now? But it's still genuine.
Yeah.
So I want to say 50% of those pictures are like that, but 50% is also on the way I'm feeling on the caption wise.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling moody, if I'm feeling down, there's sometimes where I'm like just ecstatic and really happy. But that's the crazy part that if you met me personally, it's my Instagram is, I've always told people it's a platform on how I want you to view me.
Mm-hmm.
If you meet me personally, you'll know there's still something going on deep down, but 80% of the time you'll see me this happy. I'm always smiling.
Yep.
I'm always energetic. I'm always the person to make people laugh.
Yep.
Or I'm also the person that I'll put you above me to make sure you're doing good. And that's the type of person I am. And that's what I think. Sorry to make this so long. I think that's the kind of person I want to be. I want what kind of impact I can make into your life to be a positive version of you. In other words, how can I inspire you to be a better version of yourself?
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from.
What, and if you don't mind sharing it, or if you don't want to, that's totally fine too. Tell me about experience where like you kind of hit a wall and it was just very tough to get through. You were able to overcome it, and that is in a sense, because I'm a big believer in all the stuff we go through, all the roadblocks, all the barriers, because I've been through a lot of stuff myself, is that's what develops you into the person that you're meant to be, and then allowing you to go out and inspire and motivate so many other people with using your platform.
I can think of a couple. I'll tell you two off the top of my head real quick. Losing my grandparents. I grew up with them. I lived with them. We lived in their house, and I saw them every day. To having my grandma first pass away and watching her in the hospital, seeing the lifeline go down. I think that's one of the hardest times of my life because, again, I'm very good at coping with it and not expressing my feelings and hiding it because I want you to feel better before I do. But I hit a big roadblock when it was my grandma, and then my grandpa passed away about 1.5 years for pancreas cancer. And I've never shared it. I never even shared it with my family either. But like, I hit a big roadblock.
Yeah.
Like, it was creativity, just the way I was feeling. Like, it was in a really weird funk, and it was just like, how do I go on about it? And yeah, I would go visit my grandparents in the grave, like just here and there with my family. But it got to the point where I felt the need that I need to go by myself. I need to go talk to my grandparents. And again, I don't really share this with my family or my friends or anything. It's just something that I felt I needed, not to prove something, but just to, like, I'm still doing what you want me to do. Like, you always saw me as this happy kid.
Yeah.
So I want to be this happy goofball kid that I was at home. So
that
scene, just visiting them, it always kind of brings me back up. So I still try and do it. It's been a while since I need to go, actually.
Yeah.
But other than that, just like everyone else, everybody goes through like losing a close friend to someone you consider a best friend, losing your loved partner or whatever. But for me personally, it was just hitting rock bottom. I hit rock bottom about 2 years ago, and I was left in debt. I just didn't know what I was doing with my life at that time, and I just had to dig deep. And yeah, your friends are there, like, hey, you're gonna be all right. You'll pull through. But that's so cliche nowadays.
Yep.
You're gonna hear it, but it's like, what can I do now for myself to get myself out of this rut? Because at the end of the day, I know what rock bottom feels like, and I don't want to feel it again.
Mm-hmm.
I've pushed my family away in the past. Now that I have them back, it's what can I do to stay connected with them? Do I have to call them every day, every other day, hang out with them, just check up on them? And that's what I've been doing lately. Is just, especially with this pandemic, since I don't live at home, so it's like, let me call my mom, let me call my dad, see how they're doing. Let me call my brothers and sisters. I work with my sister and my brother at the same job, so it's like I see them, but it's more like my mom and dad and my little brother. We just don't see each other as often because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like I think rock bottom. Never wanting to feel that feeling of being way in the bottom and not knowing what to do. I never want to feel that, so that's pushing me right now. Like, yo, we're not hitting that low anymore. We got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
It's always staying consistent. That's what we can do. Either get better or stay consistent.
Yeah. And I think you explained it perfectly. First of all, thank you for sharing that. Like you said, you don't share that. One more thing I kind of want to ask too, because I really resonated with this post. And the reason I ask these is because your posts don't seem not genuine. Like, you're very genuine. You can feel, like I told you, when I read the post, you can feel the feeling behind the photo, behind the caption, what really went into that. You had posted this, and this is the first time I think I reached out to you. Also, maybe it stumbled upon you. You put, I'm a popular loner. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me, but my circle is small, and I'm usually by myself. I don't know if that was a song lyric or if that was truly something you felt. And the reason I ask is because I'm in the same boat. Like, I know a lot of people like know me, but it goes back to your cliche of like friends saying, I'm there for you. Right. Yeah. But it's really when things really get hard, you look left, you look right, who is really there for you.
Yeah. So around that time when I actually stumbled on, that's actually a quote that I stumbled on Instagram. I read it about 10 times, and it was just like, I was in a weird funk that day, and I was like, yo, man, I sat down, I thought to myself, like, this is so true. Like, I'm pretty well known because of soccer. Now it's photography. And again, I've always been a very outgoing person, very easy to get along with. But I've always felt like a popular loner. A lot of people know who I am, but not many people sit there and ask me, hey, how are you?
Yep.
The simple, genuine question of, how are you? And I think that's something we all need. We need that one person that's going to sit you down just like this. But, hey, how are you? And don't give me that BS of, oh, I'm good. It's like, no. Dig down deep and really, how are you? Yeah. And I only have a couple friends who I can actually sit there and have a heart-to-heart conversation with. But yeah, that post, I was in a weird funk, and it clicked with me real quick. So I was like, you know what? I got to use this on my post. Like, this is how I'm feeling right now. I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. Let's run it.
Yeah.
So we did.
And I'm right there with you. And that's why I had brought it up, because I know a lot of people and vice versa, but I personally keep my circle very small, and I decide who I share my time with, because I only want to be around people who are going to be real with me. I don't want any fluff, nothing like that. Also, the people that are going to be there for me when things get really tough. Because, I mean, again, I have been in dark places, and when those places came, you look around and it's like, it's only a handful. And so, like, those are really the only people you should be, in a sense, spending time with. So that really resonated with me. And so thanks for sharing.
That's crazy, because in the past I used to work for the Boys and Girls Club. I was a mentor to a bunch of kids.
Oh my goodness. Which location?
San Pedro.
Okay. Because I went to the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, I'm in the San Pedro area.
Okay.
But no, like, I grew up with not a popular kid, but I had a lot of friends. And when I graduated high school, I realized it was 100 friends, 75, 50, 25 too. Like, I have 5 close friends, and that was it. And I would explain this to the teens, be like, hey, man, like, yeah, you guys have a lot of friends, but you need to start really, like, realizing who's really your genuine friend, who's really your close friend. Because at the end of the day, all these 100 friends, all these 100 followers on your Instagram, you'll see you're only gonna have about 5 close friends, and those are the ones you really want to be connected and take care of.
Yeah. No, totally agree. And Boys and Girls Club, I love the Boys and Girls Club. I love everything they're about, all that. So you mentioned you played soccer. You were pretty big in soccer. How long did you play soccer for?
Since I could kick a ball. I probably started like around, soccer's big in our family. Okay. So I started playing soccer about when I was like 5, 6 years old. And till this day, I still play. Not as much as I wish I could, because it's like I explained to everyone, soccer was my passion. I was trying to go pro for the longest time. And then once I hit my peak and I was like, all right, I'm too old, photography came into play. So my passion switched real quick. It was like, before it was like, hey, let's go play soccer. I'm like, yeah, I'll drop everything. Let's go play soccer. Now it's like, it's soccer, or like, hey, let's go shoot in downtown LA. It's like, all right, let's go shoot in downtown LA. Like, that's my passion now. Like, of course, that's what I'm chasing. But I still like to play soccer. You know, I play with my roommate, which is actually my best friend since kindergarten. Known him my whole life. He's family. My parents are his godparents. But yeah, I still play soccer with him here and there. So
Yeah. Well, because I played soccer too. I played soccer for 5 years. I played for AYSO.
Gotcha.
So that whole club. So that was a fun time. Everything. Also, so you're into sneakers. Do you play ball? I see you post a lot about basketball too.
I don't play. I know the fundamentals. Okay. I know how to play, but to play competitive, nah, that's not me. I'm more soccer, but I do follow the game of basketball here and there to a certain extent, enough to keep me by to communicate with my friends about it. But to me, the sneakers is more than a shoe for me. You know, it's
go into that. Why is that?
So to me, I explained this to one of my buddies the other day. It's so perfect. Cool. Actually, I just grabbed a hoodie from one of my close friends. He owns a company called the Grail Company, and that's one of his quotes in the back of his hoodie. It says, "More than a shoe." Okay. But going back to it, I explained it to him, actually. It's not just a sneaker to me. To me, growing up, my parents couldn't afford these high-end Jordan shoes, you know, the high-end shoes. So we would get about 2-3 pairs of shoes a year, and we would have to make it last and so on, you know, just the typical Hispanic family. So when I started working, I saved my money, and I went and I bought my favorite pair of shoes, the Bread Ones. And that was like, that to me, which is actually the shoes that I'm wearing right now, it's I saved up so much money. I worked so hard for it to get this shoe, and now that I finally have it, to me, this means more. This is my hard work. This is what I've been working for 3 months hard for. Because sneakers aren't cheap, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, especially like the old school ones. Like, they're not cheap.
Yeah.
And again, I got this from my uncle. My uncle got me into the shoe game. I've got in, got out a couple times, and I keep getting pulled back in. But again, it's not just a shoe to me. It symbolizes my hard work, my dedication, and it's for the culture. Like, it just goes good in outfits, like, overall. The Jordan 1 silhouette, like, that's my favorite.
What's so tell me too. What's your favorite pair that you own, and what's a pair that you really want to get?
Oh man, my favorite pair is between Bread Ones and Royal Ones. The pair that I want to get, I want to just complete my set. I want to get the Igloo Jordan 1s, and that's only a Europe exclusive release. So it's on top of my list. But it's about 8-9 grand. So I don't know.
Not bad.
I don't know.
Not bad.
I don't think I'm gonna get those. Not anytime soon. You know, maybe this takes off. But
yeah.
That's definitely my top ones.
Got it. Now, you also said you're big into hip hop.
Yeah.
In what regard?
Man, I've been listening to hip hop since I was young. I like everything. Like, there's not a day goes by where I'm not listening to music. So like, even right now when I came in here, I had an earphone on. Driving here, I had an earphone on. I'm at work, I got earphones on. Yep. I come home, stereo goes on. So hip hop is always playing 24/7. I go to sleep with music playing hip hop. So it's like, I'm a huge hip hop head. I love Nas, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, even the new cats now like G-Eazy, Logic, but it goes even back into like Mouth Dev, like just everything, man. So I don't know. I think that's why I say I'm a hip hop head, because I'm just all over the place with music.
I think those go hand in hand though, hip hop and sneakers.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. it really does.
Got it. Yeah. That's funny. So tell me a little bit about this. You're wearing a hat that says Inspired. Yes, I looked on your profile. It's a whole separate account. I asked you before the show. This is your brand.
Yeah, this is my brand.
So your brand, I love it, by the way, Inspired.
Cool.
Why'd you start it?
So this is actually a project I tried to start about 3-4 years ago. And for, obviously obstacles happened. I couldn't do it. Financially, I wasn't there. I had other things going on. But when this pandemic hit, I had extra money. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So the story behind Inspired is it's basically the way I live my life. I want to inspire you to be a better version of yourself, whether it's physically, just creativity, just the way you go on about yourself. So that's where the Inspired idea comes from. And the reason for the Thunderbolt, because I have a Thunderbolt as I call it the Nike swoosh.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. When you think of an idea, what emoji pops in your head?
The light bulb.
Exactly. So to me, when I feel inspired, it's like a lightning bolt just strikes me. And it's like, yo, like, I'm inspired. Like, let's go shoot this, or let's go work out. Let's go play some soccer. Like, I feel like a lightning bolt just hit me.
That's good.
So that's where the idea comes from. Yeah. So it's just a little project I've wanted to do. I'm slightly into fashion. I like clothes, but I just got tired of buying high-end clothes or going to the mall and buying clothes, going to Tilly's and stuff. It's like, I like the clothes, but I don't love it. Let me make something that I love and just create it myself. If people want to buy it, cool. If they don't, then all right. At the end of the day, I just want to put this out there. Like, it's just something for myself. So that's where the inspired idea came from.
So that's the name of it. Is it solely going to be around inspired, or do you think you're going to add different words to it? And what's the future that you see in it?
So the future right now is I just want to get it out.
Okay.
That's been the hardest thing right now. I think it's the closest I've been to actually releasing it. But the goal is to make different kind of collections. If either I want to do fitness, if I want to hit the media side, as in photography, videography, or whatever, sports or anything like that. But that's the goal. Is I want to start a different kind of collection for it. If it's shirts, hoodies, crew necks, hats, socks, briefs, tank tops, obviously crop top hoodies for girls, and so on. But the goal is just to get it out, man.
Yeah.
I've been working on this for too long that I just don't want to let it go to waste. I don't want to have an idea that didn't come through, you know? I don't want that what if. So if it fails, it fails. Like, so what? Like, I'm still going to wear it. Like, it's my brand. Like, but yeah, that's the goal, the future goal.
I like it. No, I really like it because I had the like similar idea of like creating a brand in a sense where it was all just positivity, different positive words on hats, on all that kind of stuff, just because it's like allows people to wear it and kind of embrace themselves. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Cool.
Going into your photography now, what are you working on now? What's your kind of goals right now?
So my goal right now is I work for some brands, you know, a couple brands here and there. But the goal is I want to have about 3 to 4 clients that I work with every week.
Okay.
So basically I want to have a consistent income monthly and just work with those. I want to grow with a brand that's growing along with me. I'm tired of dealing with big brands who have all these numbers, who think they're the big shot. It's like, nah, dude, I want to grow with someone, not just work for you. So that's the goal. I want to find, you know, some clientele here and there that we're going to grow together, help each other grow, or just put each other up, give each other exposure, whatever you want to call it. But that's it. I'm just don't want to take these small gigs just because I need money.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of like, I want to be able to pick and choose who I work with. Because just like you, your time is valuable. Like, I can't just be going around and shooting, you know, random gigs anymore. But yeah, that's the goal. Like, I just consistent income monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, because I just want to kind of clarify this, I see you taking a lot of portrait pictures, and that's kind of your main focus. For anyone listening who may want to reach out to you, what would you say is your primary focus? So you have portraits, but I've also seen you do some family pictures and kind of dabble in a lot of things. What would you say is kind of like your expertise, or is it just all portraits?
See, I'm all around shooter. I mainly shoot portraits because that just fits my page perfectly. That's my niche right now, the sneaker portrait photography. But if I can give advice to anyone, is be open to everything. Take all kinds in the beginning. Take everything. Take family portraits. Take weddings. Take maternity shoots, just regular portraits, product shots, anything you can. Because at the end of the day, you're not chasing a bag. You're chasing that network. Because you're going to need that person down the line eventually. So don't worry about the money. The money's going to come. It's just the network and the friends. That's your main goal in the beginning. And then find a clique. Find a little group of friends that are always down to go shoot whenever you want. Because that's the most important thing in the beginning.
Yep, to get more content and everything.
Yeah, content, and just push each other like in a friendly, competitive, creative cloud.
Yeah.
There you go.
Through all the years, actually curious. So how long have you been shooting?
I've been shooting for about, let's say, 5.5 years now. Serious shooting, about 1.5 years. I was doing it for a hobby, just here and there. And then this past year, when pandemic hit, I says, you know what, let's take this serious. Let's kick it up a notch. And yeah, I've been doing it for about 1.5 years, and it's been good.
Yeah. So you've been shooting for that long. What out of all those years that you've been shooting, what's kind of you think is the biggest lesson or a couple of things you've learned from photography?
Lesson?
Has it really taught you anything? Has it really shown you something?
Honestly, I would just say, chase the network, not the bag.
They say your network is your net worth.
Exactly. Because that's the thing. When it comes to photography, when you work, say, one client, and it's like, hey, I just want to work with you, and then you see, I'm the type of person where I'll have a conversation with you first, where like, what can I get out of this? Or what can we both get out of this? And why do I want to work with you? What does your brand consist of, or what does it mean behind it? If I like it, I'll just say like, yeah, you know what? Just send me the gear. I'll shoot it for you. Don't worry about it. But I also have those clients where it's just like, hey, what are your rates? Cool. I give it to them and that's it. We never talk for like another 2-3 months when they book me again. But to me, to be able to chase that network, I'll give you the perfect example. The grill company, I reached out to him. We decided to do a trial run. He liked my stuff. And now we call each other about like once or twice a week and just catch up. We talk about the brand like here and there or what's going on with on the content wise. But we'll talk about family stuff. Like he'll tell me what's going on with his newborn. I'll tell him what's going on at my family side, how I'm doing, how work is doing, how he's dealing with work. And it's not even a work relationship anymore. Now it's actually a genuine friendship, and that's what I'm chasing. Yeah. I'd rather have that genuine friendship than just, hey, what's up, dude? Here you go. Here's your pictures, and call it quits. Yeah. Like, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. So I think that's my biggest lesson is chase the network, not the bag. Gotcha. And that's smart advice and a smart way to live because, as much as people say it's all about who you know, it really is. It really comes down to that. Like, you can just know one or two person that can get you connected in the door and just to present yourself, and that's a big move right there. Yeah. So tell me, so you've been shooting a lot of girls lately because it's been on all over, and again, they're coming out great. Yeah. Tell me about your process. So you book them, you go out to a location. A simple location, everyone will know. You go to downtown. What's your vision on it? Are you already thinking about your shots prior to getting there, or are you kind of just going off the whim on the top of your head? How do you structure that? I actually have a process, like I have a little plan A, B, C, D. So what I do is after they reach out to me or I reach out to them, we set a location. So after we set a location, I like to go on Google Maps and look around, like what else in that area. Where can you park where it's easier for you to change? Because that's the biggest thing is having someone change wardrobes. So that's my process. It's what is the theme? Where is the location? What's around it? And what colors are around it? Because I want to be able to bounce you off, contrast you really well. So that's my process on how I do it. It's, like I said, location, theme, location, what's around it, and what colors. So, I'm on Google Maps a lot of the time, just trying to figure out what's going on. And then I'll screen record a video, and I'll send it to them. Like, hey, what do you think about this location, this location, this location? Can you get outfits for this? And I was like, all right, cool. We'll set up a shoot in 2 weeks. Got it. That's how I go on about it. I'd rather be prepared than go in there and just like, maybe there's something over there. Let's look around. It's like, nah, let me just look. Let me get it done. Because at the end of the day, models get bored and tired. You don't want to be there 2-3 hours. Like, even me, like, I want to be there like an hour and 15 tops, and let's call it a day. Let's go. I'm a very fast shooter. By me being prepared, I take about 20, 25 pictures in an outfit. That's it. And then, hey, I need you to go change. Like, where did enough? Because in reality, they're only posting about 2-3 pictures out of that outfit. What do you need 100, 200 pictures out of this for? So I think I've overshot. Hey, man. You learn as you go. You learn as you go, man. Well, how many pictures do you think you would take in a shoot? No more than 100 at times. No way. But there's been times where it depends. So, like, when I go to, like, I just went to LACMA the other day, and it's hard shooting there overall. There's so many people. And there's only so much you can do there, but that's what the client wanted. That's what my friend wanted to shoot at. But I think that day I shot about maybe 250, but it's because we shot there. We shot in front of the casino, and then we shot across the street at the gym. But she had different outfits, and it was just like, it was already like 9. It was dark. So it's like, all right, let's play around. The Sony's great for dark lighting, but I don't like to, like, I'm not trigger happy. I like to pick and choose. Like, I'll pose you or direct you. And take 2-3 is all right. I need you to move now. I need you to do this. Let's try this now. But for the most part, I already have them set up. Like, I already know how I want to shoot you. I'll let them freestyle, and then after that, it's like, all right, cool. I want these poses for these pictures. Let's shoot this now. And then, all right, go change your wardrobe. And that's how I go about it. So I challenge myself. Don't take too many pictures. It's just too much to go through when I get home. Are you editing through Lightroom? Yeah, Lightroom. Okay. Lightroom and Photoshop. I bounce around. Yeah, no, so do I. So I take, or like the last shoot I did, we hit a couple different locations. I took 1,000 pictures. Ain't nobody got time to go through 1,000 pictures. No, man. So and the reason being is because it's not like 1,000 different poses. It's like kind of
just shooting that same pose multiple times. And the reason, I don't know if you ran into this, is I find when I took less pictures in the beginning, I would go and I'm like, oh, this is a dope picture. And as I start to really look at it, their eyes are out of focus. And I'm like, so now I overshoot because I want to make sure one of those freaking pictures is in focus.
See, that makes a lot of sense. I think for me, it's, how can I put it?
Well, it looks like you just get perfect pictures.
Nah, not at all, man.
I'm just kidding.
So this is my process when I shoot with a model. It's, all right, cool, pose, freestyle, do what you got to do. We'll shoot, and then I'll have them do the poses that I want, and then I show them the pictures. Yo, check this out. You see this right here?
Mm-hmm.
Your shoulder's leaning way too much, and I don't like this, or you're blinking way too much. You need to, like, bring it down. So it's like, all right, cool, let's retake them. So we already know what we're hitting. It's like, yeah, we like this posture right here. You just need to bring your shoulder down. And I'll direct them through it. But I like to show them the pictures because they know how to correct their own body. Yeah. Especially when it comes to a female. Oh, those are like the hardest because, you know, nothing against you guys, girls, but you guys are super picky on the angles, on your curves and everything. And I understand that. Like, I want to give you a picture where you're going to be happy and proud to post. So, yeah, I'm going to show you the raw picture in the beginning so you can correct yourself. And if I miss something, let's correct it. Because I'm huge on symmetrical lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like
leading lines and stuff?
Leading lines. If I see so many pictures on Instagram where they do a beat shoot and the horizon is like weird. Like that really bothers me. So when I do a beat shoot, it's like I got to make sure the horizon is as straight as possible. If not, I'll correct it in the computer. But I'm very anal about that. Like my OCD kicks in and it's just like, nope, we got to make sure these lines are straight. You got to be in the middle. This is your center point. Yeah, you just got to direct them, man. Yeah. And less work for me on the computer as well, so.
For sure. And that's crazy because like again, I go through those 1,000, then I like put a flag next to the ones that I really like, and then I break it down. But I still end up shooting them, like sending them like tons of pictures, just because I'm like, I don't know, I want you to enjoy the pictures. But again, I'm not like for some of them, like I don't even charge, nothing like that. I'm very big into just wanting to shoot. Like I don't necessarily need to charge for it.
Yeah.
If I was pursuing it fully as a career, probably should. But yeah. For someone kind of barely getting into photography with all your years of experience, if they're barely getting in and not really knowing where to start, what are some basic things that they should just focus on these, like 1 or 2, 3 things and just go from there?
I think one is shoot. Shoot as much as possible. Trial and error, that's the best advice I can give you. Number 2 is learn your camera. Learn your settings. One of the things that I used to do when I was at home was I gave myself a challenge. Shoot something inside my house for 30 minutes, whether it's a toy, whether it's a flower vase, but learn aperture and lighting and your white balance. Yeah. Those are the main things. And then take 30 minutes to edit something so you can post it either on your feed or on your story. But that was an everyday challenge for me. It was just, let me shoot for 30 minutes. Let me edit for 30 minutes. Let me learn something. Let me practice the curve, just whatever I could do. But it's all trial and error. I think those are the 2 best advice I can give you, actually, is just shoot.
Those are great.
And learn your camera. Those are the main things. After that, reaching out to people, obviously come as respectful as possible, and then it'll come. Yeah. Don't worry about the financial side. That's going to come on its own if you're searching for that. Mm-hmm. If you're not, then just shoot, man. Have fun. That's the most important thing is have fun. Don't make this into a job. It's still a hobby at the end of the day. Yeah. So.
Do you have anyone, outside of Instagram, because I don't know too many other photographers you may know, but maybe through YouTube or anything that inspire you, like people that you learn from, you look up to? Like one of mine when I was doing videography was Peter McKinnon, 100%.
Oh, yeah, everyone. See, I mean, if I were to stay away from the big time photographers, videographers, to me is I feel inspired when I see my close friends winning or dropping that banger shot on Instagram. So to me, it would be like, again, shout out to District Vision, my sensei. You know, like everything he posts is like, yo, like your colors, like your composure, like everything just keeps getting better and better every time. And I mean, subconsciously, it's like, man, I wish I took that shot. But it's that friendly competition where it's like, all right, now you kind of kick me in the back, so to be better now. So all right, let me see if I can top your next post. Mm-hmm. And then I have a bunch of buddies. Like I have visuals. You know, I haven't spoken to him in a while, but you know, I still see his posts. I see him working. I see him grinding, man. He's working like crazy right now, and his posts are crazy. Like his colors are good. His sharpness is really well, and I like it. Like I like his style. But when it comes, I think those are my 2 main people that I really look up to when it comes to photography or to inspire me. Other than my sneaker photography, you know, you have hundreds of sneaker photographers. You have like 215 shooter from Philly who's killing it in sneakers. But I mean, to keep it short, I think those are my top 3 inspirations right now, aside from, the big names already.
Mm-hmm. How do you continue to reinvent yourself in an industry that's very competitive?
Reinvent myself. What do you mean by that?
Reinvent yourself in a way of just, in a sense, not posting the same thing over and over, not maybe posting the same thing that other people are posting. In a sense, on the creative side, like how do you come up with that stuff? What kind of gets you going in that regard? I know you gave the example of the blossoming flower, which I think was great, but like kind of what else? What else?
Lately, I think the biggest thing is staying away from Instagram.
Interesting. Okay.
So I stay away from Instagram because I follow a lot of my friends are photographers. Or obviously, my photography page is a lot of photographers, videographers that inspire me. But subconsciously, I do find myself like, yo, like the homie shot this and he edited this color. Subconsciously, as I start editing that style, and I don't like that. I like to be as genuine as possible because I don't use presets at all. I don't use preset packages, nothing. I edit everything from scratch. So to me, I stay away from Instagram as much as possible because I don't want to subconsciously start taking their style or something. Like I want to be as genuine, as authentic as I can. When it comes to portraits, it's just whatever I feel that day. Like, yeah, we set up a theme and a location, but it's just maybe one day it's like, hey, I want to have you sit off the edge of a rooftop. Like, let's go do that. And I know it's been done, but I don't know. It's just something different. Just every girl's different. Every guy's different that I shoot. One of the main things I also try to do is stay away from the same people everyone shoots. Like, it's been countless times where it's just I see the same girl, same dude over and over and over, or the same products everybody's shooting. One of the main things was I stopped doing the Insta meets. So when I first started in photography, there was like, I don't know if you heard of the Instagram photo meets.
No.
So when I first started in photography, it was there was I don't even know who was in charge of it, but somebody would set a location and the models. You would get a crowd of like 100 photographers shooting 6-7 girls or guys, models, whatever you want to call it, and people would be rushing home to edit and post because they wanted to be the first ones. And I would see it and I was just like, yo, like you do so much better. Like I've seen you edit a lot better. And again, I'm not knocking on your hustle or anything like that, but I don't know. I found myself seeing the same thing over and over. So I stopped doing the Insta meets. I would go to the Insta meets to network. I wouldn't even shoot anymore. My camera would stay in my backpack and it was just like, who can I become friends with? What kind of clique I can get into now? Or like what's going on? But that's another thing too, that to stay genuine and as original as possible, I stopped doing the Insta meets. Yeah. But I do recommend them. Like when you're a starting photographer, I definitely recommend you do it to network and meet new friends that are in the same, I guess, hobby as you are. Definitely.
Got it. And then that makes sense. I totally agree with that. It's funny because I think, what's his name? Have you heard of Michael Mueller? Yeah. So I watched a lot of his videos and his perspective is crazy. Like one big thing is I really dove into like really learning was lighting and the importance of it, everything you can do with it, just changing your angle. Like it was so interesting. And he had said the same thing, that he stays away from Instagram. He doesn't like looking at other people's stuff because he wants to come up with his own stuff, very original, very like all of that stuff. So as we kind of wrap up here, what's your kind of put it out into the world? Maybe if someone's watching or stuff, what's your kind of either dream collaboration? Who do you want to work with, whether it's a company, whether it's a person, and like what are some big goals that you really want to accomplish this year in 2021?
You know what, with 2021, it might be kind of hard. I've always wanted to do concert pictures.
Gotcha.
I wanted to shoot with artists. I actually, last year in February, Valentine's Day actually, I actually got the opportunity to go shoot Fora's concert. So I got to shoot, I don't know if you know Fora, pretty popular artist. I did a concert photo shoot for him, and that was like another huge milestone in photography, you know? Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. Like, it was really cool watching the crowd jump around and him rapping to all his songs and singing along. It was definitely different from what I normally do. And that's something that I want to do, like, on the long run. Like, I definitely want to do concert pictures. Like, to me, that's dope. I've followed so many people that do that, and it's really cool. A dream collaboration, Jordan. I want to work with sneakers. I definitely.
Oh, that would be sick.
Like, just, even if it's just, like, working for Finish Line, having them, like, hey, here's some shoes, here's some gear, shoot it. Yeah. And giving me the full freedom to do complete streetwear, like, yeah, that's top notch for me. One of those two. That, and I really want to do travel photography.
Okay.
Like, on top of my bucket list is Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Is that street
That'd be
neon?
so fun. Yeah. Oh, my
I
goodness.
love it. That's definitely on my top list. But I think that'd be it. Definitely for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think you said it all perfectly. Tokyo would be a great place to go for sure.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Well, that's gonna wrap it up. That is it. Before we finish up, before we do all that camera right there, let everyone know where they can find you, if they want to reach out to you, how to reach out to you, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. I mean, if you want to reach out, easily Instagram, Sap_shotted. That's the easiest way to reach me. I reply to all messages. I'm very friendly. Just hit me up if you guys want to collab or book me, shoot. I'm open to it. I do have the clothing line coming up soon. It's gonna be inspired.est. You can find that on my bio on Sapshotted. But yeah, that's about it. You know, bring hyphy back. We're doing this, man.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It was a fun time. Thank you for sharing everything you did.
Appreciate it.
That's going to wrap up this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked it. Again, subscribe if you're new. Consider subscribing, and then giving the video a thumbs up really helps out the channel. And comment down below. I respond to all comments. Maybe let me know something else you want to see or another guest you want to see as well. I'm constantly looking at that. But thank you so much for staying here and watching the whole thing. And I will see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Cool.